Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth, emperor of Rome. He could have anything, do anything, demand anything. But in his private journal, he wrote something that would make most people uncomfortable. He said the secret to power isn't getting what you want, it's not needing it in the first place. And once you understand why he believed this, you'll never see power the same way again. Because the things you desperately care about, those things own you. And I'm about to show you exactly how that works, and more importantly, how to break free from it. Why attachment is your weakness. Think about your own life for a second. How many times have you lost sleep over what someone said about you? How many times have you changed your entire plan because you were afraid of judgment? How many times have you stayed in situations that were destroying you because you cared too much about what walking away would look like? Every single one of those moments, you weren't living your life. You were being controlled. The Stoics called this being enslaved to externals. When you're attached to outcomes, you're handing your peace, your power, your entire emotional state to things you cannot control. Someone's opinion of you? Can't control that. Whether you get the promotion? Can't fully control that. How people react to your boundaries? Definitely can't control that. But here's what you can control: how much you care about any of it. And that's where the real power is. What Marcus Aurelius knew about detachment. Marcus Aurelius wrote Meditations while literally running an empire and fighting wars. He wasn't in some peaceful monastery. He was dealing with plague, betrayal, warfare, and the weight of millions of lives on his shoulders. And you know what he kept writing about? Detachment. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The pain isn't the thing, it's how much you care about the thing. You're not upset because something happened. You're upset because you're attached to it happening differently. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. The power of not needing anything. Here's something wild that happens when you stop caring so much. People start taking you more seriously. When have you ever respected someone who desperately needed your approval? Never. But that person who doesn't seem to need anything from you, who's completely fine whether you agree with them or not, that person has power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." He didn't care about being liked, he cared about being aligned with himself. And when you stop needing external validation, you stop negotiating with your own values. You stop shrinking yourself. You become unmovable. Detachment is not indifference. Here's where people get this wrong. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care about anything. That's just being dead inside. Real Stoic detachment means you care deeply about things, but you're not enslaved by the outcome. You can love someone without needing them to complete you. You can work towards a goal without your entire identity being wrapped up in achieving it. You can have preferences without falling apart when things don't go your way. Marcus Aurelius loved his family. He cared about Rome, but he also knew it could all be taken away and he'd still be okay. That's the difference. Caring is, I value this and I'll do my best. Attachment is, I need this to be okay. One gives you power, the other gives you anxiety. What happens when you let go? If this is making sense to you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because what I'm about to show you next is how detachment actually makes you dangerous in ways most people never realize. Watch what happens when you practice this. People get confused. They're used to manipulating you with guilt, approval, the threat of judgment, and suddenly, none of that works anymore. You're not chasing their validation. You're not defending yourself. You're not changing course based on their reaction. Some people will respect you more. Others will feel threatened. They'll call you cold, disconnected, selfish. Let them. Their reaction tells you everything. The people threatened by your detachment, those are the people who were benefiting from your attachment. They liked having control over you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He's practicing detachment from expectation. I'm going to encounter difficult people, and I'm not going to be emotionally destroyed by it. That's freedom. How to actually practice detachment. So how do you actually do this? First, separate what you control from what you don't. You control your effort, your attitude, your response. You don't control outcomes, opinions, circumstances. Stop investing emotional energy in the second category. Second, practice negative visualization. The Stoics imagined losing everything they had. What if I lost this job tomorrow? What if this person left? And then they'd realize I'd still be okay. That's not negativity, that's building resilience. Third, notice when you're suffering and ask why. Most suffering isn't about what happened, it's about your attachment to it happening differently. And the moment you realize that, you can let it go. The most powerful thing Marcus Aurelius ever wrote. Near the end of Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Everything is temporary. Your status, your possessions, other people's opinions, your very life, all temporary. And when you really internalize that, attachment starts to feel absurd. Why cling so tightly to things that are going to change or disappear anyway? The only thing that's stable is you, your character, your mind, your ability to choose your response. The Stoics called this your inner citadel, the part of you that can't be touched by external circumstances. And the more you retreat to that place, the more powerful you become. Detachment makes you dangerous. Here's what people don't tell you. Detachment makes you dangerous. When you don't need anything from anyone, you can't be manipulated. When you're not attached to outcomes, you can take bigger risks. When you're not attached to judgment, you can move in ways other people can't. That CEO who's not emotionally attached to this quarter's numbers, better long-term decisions. That person who's not attached to being liked, they set boundaries that protect their energy. That leader who's not attached to credit, they empower their team in ways insecure leaders never can. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in the world and still practiced detachment daily, because he knew real power doesn't come from what you have, it comes from what you don't need. The choice you have to make. So here's what it comes down to. You can keep living attached to outcomes, opinions, and external validation. You can keep giving your power away to things you can't control. Or you can practice detachment. Start caring less about things that don't actually matter. Stop letting other people's opinions dictate your emotional state. Let go of outcomes and focus on what you can control. And when you do that, you become the kind of person that nothing can shake. Marcus Aurelius lived this philosophy while running an empire, losing children, battling illness, and facing constant threats, and he died with his peace intact. Not because his life was easy, but because he wasn't attached to it being easy. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because I'm breaking down more Stoic principles that'll completely change how you see power and control. The moment you stop caring about the wrong things is the moment you become truly powerful.